Good morning, readers. It is Friday today, the 31st. We're almost through January and into February. Groundhog's Day in a couple of days here. My blog this week is about anxiety and about anxiety and characters in books that I've written and some other books that I've gathered together. So I'll put a link to that post in the comment section. And I thought I would read to you today a little bit more from Night of Nine Tales, which is the fourth book in the Reg Rollins series. And Reg has significant anxiety in this volume from several different sources. And so I thought I would share part of this with you today about Reg's anxiety. And at this point, you won't know where it's coming from, and hopefully there are no spoilers here for you. All right. Corbin Hunter. What was he calling her about, especially in the middle of the night? She never encouraged him to call her, and she had certainly never called him at that hour. Well, maybe she had encouraged him to call, in the early days before she knew what he really was, that the attraction she felt to him was part of his powers, not just the usual chemical attraction to a handsome man. She swiped to answer the call. There was no reason she should want to talk to Corbin Hunter, knowing how dangerous he was, but she wanted someone to talk to, and he was available. He would distract her from the unsettled feelings. Hello? Regina. The way that he said her name, correctly pronouncing it Regina rather than like the Canadian city, never failed to send a shiver of pleasure through her. Even though he wasn't in the same room as she, and therefore couldn't send his rose-scented pheromones and charms in her direction, she still felt the little tug at her heartstrings, like watching a Hallmark commercial. "What are you doing calling me so late?" Reg demanded, keeping her voice stern, not letting him know how close she was to turning to mush just at hearing his voice. "What are you doing up so late?" "I could be doing a seance, you know. You could be interrupting something very important." "I assumed that if you were doing a seance, you would have your ringer turned off." That wasn't a bad idea, but Regina had never bothered to turn her ringer off, for one. "I don't plan on people calling me this late, so no, I don't usually bother." "Well, since you answered, I assume that either you aren't holding a seance or the spirits don't mind. Maybe they'd like someone else to talk to." Reg snorted. "They wouldn't want to talk to you." "Trust me, there are plenty of spirits who'd be interested in talking to me," he assured her, ego as big as anything. "So why did you call? Why do you want, what do you want so late at night?" "What I always want." He let that statement sit and fester for a few seconds. Reg's face heated as she considered the statement. "Just a chance to talk to a friend." "We're not friends." "Reg." The voice he put on was hurt, but Reg knew enough not to take it seriously. "You wound me. We're not friends? After all we've been through together? After all that we've shared?" "We haven't shared anything. You've taken." "I don't think you're remembering correctly." His voice took on a velvety tone that reminded her of the night that they had spent together. It had been an incredible night, and she couldn't deny that they'd been connected more intimately than in any other relationship she'd ever had. Maybe that was why it was so hard to leave him alone, even knowing what he was. She cleared her throat. "Why did you call? You just wanted to chat? It's a bit late for that, don't you think?" "I knew you were up. I saw your light on." Reg glanced uneasily toward the door. "Stay away from here." "I'm not there. I just drove past and happened to see your light. I wondered." His voice was serious, dropping the teasing, intimate tone. Reg waited for him to finish his question, goosebumps rising on her arms for no reason. "Wondered what?" she prompted. "I wondered if maybe it was keeping you awake too." Reg frowned at the phone. She didn't say anything right away. Corbin wondered if what was keeping her awake. He remembered how when she had first moved to Black Sands and she had been struggling to deal with the new environment and Warren's restless spirit, Corbin had said he was having problems sleeping due to a disturbance in the spiritual balance of Black Sands. "What are you talking about?" Corbin answered carefully. "There's something dark at work." Reg breathed into the phone. Starlight jumped up beside her on the couch. He nosed at her, trying to get her attention. "Tell me what you mean." Reg struggled to keep her voice steady, but Corbin probably read all he needed to from her response. I thought that if anyone else in Black Sands could feel it, it would be you. What is it? Reg didn't bother denying that she had felt something too. I don't know yet, but it's very powerful. Is it like when Warren was unconscious? When Hawthorne Rose was operating? Yes, but more powerful than that. Like someone or something has moved into the neighborhood. Reg nodded her agreement. She scratched Starlight's ears. He rubbed his head on the bottom of her chin and scraped his jowls against her phone. It's really. Reg tried to put it into words. It's really creepy. I feel sick and worried all the time. And when I was with Damon. Damon, Corbin repeated sharply. Yes? What were you doing with Damon? None of your business. Okay, then. When you were with Damon, what? What happened? I thought it was coming after me. I felt it closing in. Hmm. He didn't sound like he doubted her, more like he was concerned. Damon didn't feel it? No, nothing. He's not sensitive, but I thought if it was that close, maybe he would have felt something. Reg made a murmur of acknowledgement. It was hard for her to believe that with how strongly she'd felt the presence, Damon had felt nothing at all. When did it start? Corbin asked. When did you start to feel it? A day or two after we got Sarah's emerald back. I thought it would just go away. I was hoping that it was just from a nightmare, or just because so much had been going on lately, and once I got into something else, it would just disappear. But it didn't. No. When did you notice it? About the same time. I'd given Sarah a lot of energy and had just gotten notice of the tribunal's decision, so it seemed natural that I'd be having bad feelings. But as you say, it didn't go away. I replenished my energy. I ramped up my business with people outside of the covenant and kept myself busy. But it didn't work. The feelings just kept getting worse. Yes, growing, like something is gathering power or multiplying. It's not a good feeling. No, Reg agreed. She stroked Starlight's fur, thinking, so it's not after me? I thought that it might be looking for me. Looking for you? I don't know. Why would it? I don't know. It's just that I felt this before, and last time it followed me for a long time. Can we get together to discuss this? No. Reg immediately pushed him away in her thoughts. He said he had seen her light on, so he had been past the cottage. He might have returned, or he might have been there the whole time, lying about having just driven past. She tried to put blocks up around her. She hadn't learned how to protect herself against psychic or magical forces, but she really should. She didn't want to be so vulnerable around Corbin or around anyone else. She needed layers of protection. Gina, I really do want to discuss this, but I don't think it's something we can flesh out over the phone. You know that I'm not just making it up. You've felt it too. The two of us need to get together. If we're the only two who are aware of this force, it's our responsibility to at least try to find out what it is, find out if we need protection, and how to stand up against it. You and I can't get together. You know that. You know that as soon as we do, you'll be tempted to steal my powers, and I'll be subject to your charms. Things can never end well for us. Corbin was silent. Reg considered her statement. It could never go well for her. But for Corbin? If she succumbed to his charms, then he would get exactly what he wanted. We can go somewhere public. Invite someone else who can help to make you feel protected. We could figure this out and get ahead of it. You don't know what kind of havoc it might create in Black Sands if we don't confront it early. You can't let these things get a foothold. Reg had tried going to public places with him before. She'd been places where she thought she would be safe because there were other people around, but somehow she kept falling for him. Reg, Corbin pleaded, we need to do this. Do you want that to take over? Do you want it to gain power here? How do I know this isn't something that you've engineered just to make me take down my guard with you? It could be something, a curse you put on me to make me think there was some danger in Black Sands. That being in the parking lot might have been you. You might have been manipulating me this whole time. Why would I do that? Because you want my powers, and maybe because you want a friend since you've been shunned from your coven. Those are two really big incentives. Yeah, okay, so maybe I would do that, he admitted. It would be a good ploy. But I promise you, I haven't put any spell or curse on you. We haven't even seen each other, so how could I have? And I couldn't have been near you for the whole time you've been feeling this. It's been too long. Reg sighed. Unfortunately, he was right. All right, so that is the chapter of Night of Nine Tales, available now. I will put up a link to that in the comment section as well. Take a hop over and look at my blog and see if there are any other books that you're interested in purchasing. So, happy Friday and hope you have a good weekend. Talk to you later. Bye.